report also highlights a number of concerning trends. The first is the continued expansion of forced labor, as the pandemic disrupted supply chains around the world and spiked demand in certain industries like PPE production. Exploitative employers used a host of tactics to take advantage of lower paid and more vulnerable workers. The second is the rise in labor trafficking using online scams, which have proliferated as more of the world gains access to the internet. The pandemic supercharged this trend. Traffickers capitalized on widespread unemployment to recruit victims with fake job listings and then force them to run international scams. Third, the report exposes the risks facing an often overlooked segment of trafficking victims, boys and young men. According to a recent report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, between 2004 and 2020, the percentage of boys identified as victims of human trafficking rose fivefold. Now, for years, there's been a widely held but incorrect belief that trafficking affects exclusively female victims. This false perception has had some, quite frankly, devastating and tangible consequences, with far fewer support services typically allocated to male victims of trafficking. The reality is that any person, regardless of sex, regardless of gender identity, can be targeted by human traffickers. And so governments, civil society, the private sector, all of us have to develop resources for all populations, including male victims.